And hello and welcome to another episode of Garage Game Day Sports. I'm your host, as always, Louis Longoria. You can find me at Game Day Garage on Twitter. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe to us on YouTube. The Dallas Cowboys Kansas City Chiefs game is final. The Chiefs have emerged victorious with a 19-9 hard-fought defensive victory in the 325 slot of Week 11 of the NFL season. This was not I expected somewhat of a defensive struggle. I didn't expect 28 points combined between these two teams. This game was sloppy at times. It was aggressive. We saw a couple of scuffles in this game. I thought we were going to get some ejections with some extracurricular activities that went on during this game. Overall, just a sloppy game. Both offenses struggled at times. The Chiefs were just able to make more plays. They were able to not really convert more on third downs. That was something I wanted to harp on. And I thought the Cowboys did a good job stopping them on third downs. But the Chiefs were 4 of 12 on third downs. The Cowboys were 5 of 15. So neither team exactly blew us away with their third down conversions. But the Chiefs were able to just move the ball on first and second down. And pick up more first downs. They were able to move the ball. They had more explosive plays. Of course, the Cowboys were without Amari Cooper for this game. We lost CeeDee Lamb in the second half, sustained a concussion at the end of the first half. Lamb went up for that ball in the end zone. It turned out to be an interception, so we lost Lamb on that play. And it was just tough sledding for the Cowboys after that. With no Cooper, no CeeDee Lamb, you still had no Tyron Smith on the offensive line. Boy, did that show. And Chris Jones was a huge part of why we had a tough go around today. Dak had a tough game at the office. Took him 3 quarters to clear 100 passing yards. I did not think I would say that facing the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Took 3 quarters to clear 100 yards, picked up some more in garbage time. He finished with 216. And half of that was empty calorie yards in the fourth quarter when we were trying to play catch up. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions, constantly harassed today. And it seemed like he was only harassed by one person today, and that was 95. That was Chris Jones of the Chiefs. Chris Jones just made life hell for Dak Prescott and for this offensive line. His stat line today, Chris Jones of the Chiefs, I hate to admit this, but man, the dude balled out and he had himself a game today. 3.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, a tipped pass that turned into an interception, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Yeah, one guy did all that. One guy, Chris Jones. He just totally flipped this game on its head. No Tyron Smith, on the offensive line. That for sure made a difference. That put us behind the 8 ball. Not having Tyron Smith. We're still waiting for our first game where we have our offensive line at full strength. So that didn't happen today. No Cooper, no Lamb. No explosive plays downfield, nothing at all. Even in the fourth quarter in scramble mode, the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game before the second Dak interception put us out of our misery, finally. We just couldn't get anything going. Nothing was able to be pushed downfield. Cedric Wilson dropped a couple passes. Dak was not accurate with his throws. He was either too high. He overshot Gallup on the first drive. That would have been a big 30, 40-yard gain. That who knows, could have flipped the switch and caused some sort of butterfly effect in this game to where the Cowboys offense wakes up early and puts an early touchdown on the board or who knows what, and we don't even hit the end zone in this game. But yeah, Dak was all over the place today, and definitely not one of his better games or, one of his worst games that I've seen. The Chiefs just set the tone early. They involved Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce early. They got going. You had Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming back from injury. This was his first game back. You had a mix of him and Darrell Williams. They mixed it up. They gave you different looks. Hell, on that first touchdown by the Chiefs, you had a direct snap to Travis Kelce. He took it, ran it straight up the gut for a touchdown. And it was just that sort of day for the Cowboys where this game was somewhat, it resembled somewhat of the Broncos game in the sense that, our offense couldn't get going. We were super flat and we just seemed out of our element. But this game was always just a play or two out of our reach, and every time the Cowboys tried to do something, every time the Cowboys would either kick a field goal or we picked off Mahomes or got a fumble recovery, we either would just cash in for a field goal or no points, or if we did score, Kansas City would turn around and get a field goal. And, it was 9-3, and then Kansas City scored before half, 16-3. And then, okay, we'd come out with a field goal. Kansas City would answer right back with a field goal. So we were always a couple of plays away, or 2 possessions. We would cut it down to 1 possession, and then Kansas City, boom, tack on another field goal or get a couple of key third downs, a couple of first downs. And it would just really stretch the game out and really put the Cowboys behind the 8 ball, in the sense that we were never truly into this game. The Chiefs were never threatened by the Cowboys, outside of the first quarter. The Chiefs were never threatened, and a lot of that was Chris Jones, and a lot of that was Steve Spagnuolo. The Chiefs defensive coordinator drew up a hell of a game plan. They put constant pressure on Dak. They had, I believe, 5 sacks in this game. That felt like more. The offensive line was just discombobulated. You had penalties, silly penalties. You had, unsportsmanlikes, 12 men in the huddle, just, false starts, just easy, avoidable penalties in this game. So just a sloppy game by the Cowboys, and just a well thought out, well executed game plan by the Chiefs on offense and defense. The Chiefs were first in the NFL at converting third downs. And I thought, if we did that and we were able to convert third downs, that would go a long way in this game. Well, that didn't tell the whole story. Not preventing the Chiefs, not letting them convert so high on third downs was not the whole story, because they were getting first downs on first and second down. And they were moving the ball, and their defense was causing havoc and just raising hell and not letting Dak get anything going, not letting him get down the field. Our running game never really got going. Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott combined for 82 yards, but on only 16 carries. I was hoping to see more from Zeke and Pollard. I was expecting to see more runs. And, when you fall behind, you can kind of abandon the run and become more one-dimensional. But with no Cooper and no Lamb, you really wanted to depend on Zeke and Pollard for those plays, and it just wasn't able to happen. Zeke had 6 catches, but for only 36 yards. So 28 catches, because Dak converted 28 passes. They went for 216, no touchdowns. That's an average of 7.7 yards a catch. That is not going to get it done. And, the Chiefs, a few yards better. They had 23 catches for 260, over 11 yards on average. So the Chiefs were a little more explosive. Tyreek Hill didn't really go crazy in this game. Neither did Travis Kelce, but they did enough. They converted first downs. They kept drives going, and they just kept the Cowboys on our heels constantly. There was no one true stat. This was an odd game because the Chiefs dominated this game pretty much. The 19-9 game, but points were so hard to come by that a 10-point win in this game felt like a 20-plus point win in any other game where offense is predicated and offense dominates the game. The Cowboys were just outclassed in this game, outcoached, and the Chiefs just wanted it more. They just outplayed the Cowboys, plain and simple. Total yards, you could say the total yards 370 to 276, but like I said, probably half of those were in the fourth quarter when the Cowboys were in scramble mode. So I would say the yards was a big advantage for the Chiefs, but yards per play, 5.6 to 4.3. They outrushed us by about 40 yards. Same amount of penalties, 6 penalties on both sides, and time of possession, 30.5 to about 29.5. So not a lot of deviation in that department. So, and in third downs, we were both well under our average third down conversion rates. So there wasn't really a key stat that really stood out to you. The total yards definitely, but Patrick Mahomes struggled too. He didn't throw a touchdown in this game. He had 1 interception, finished with 260 yards. So if you had told me before this game that Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott would combine for 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a fumble. Oh, well, 2 fumbles, because Dak had 1, Patrick Mahomes had 1. Boy, I would be hard-pressed to believe you. And as well as the Cowboys defense did play at times, Micah Parsons was a beast today. Micah Parsons should be the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year, bar none. 9 sacks in 10 games. He added 2, or I think maybe even 3 sacks in this game. Forced the fumble. He swiped at Patrick Mahomes' arm as he was running on a scramble. He forced a fumble, but they couldn't cash in. Dak tried to force it to Lamb. That resulted in that interception at the end of the first half. And then Jaron Kearse picked off Mahomes. So we had two golden opportunities. We had two turnovers, and it ended up being a wash because we gave we gave away three at the end. Dak's interception at the end of the game. While we're trying to hurry up and trying to score points at the end to try and make it manageable or try to force an onside kick. Dak, Chris Jones got that tipped hand, and Chris Jones was he had his print all over this game. He tipped that pass, got intercepted. So the Chiefs won the turnover battle 3-2, but we still forced two turnovers on the Chiefs. A Mahomes interception and a Mahomes fumble. So Mahomes was responsible for both of those turnovers, yet we could only turn that into 3 points. And Greg Zuerlein's had an up and down year. He missed last week and then he was back, this week, and he scored all 9 of our points. And, I can be critical of Greg the Leg at times, but when he doesn't, or when he scores all 9 of your points, he is essentially your offensive MVP. That tells a lot of the story, and that really shows that the Cowboys just couldn't get it done on either side of the ball. And, and it is concerning. Granted, we were missing a lot of key pieces, and we were missing our top 2 pass rushers. I hadn't even mentioned, of course, DeMarcus Lawrence still out, Randy Gregory out in this game, and also rookie corner Kelvin Joseph missed this game. We still were able to pressure Mahomes. Parsons had a couple tackles for loss. He had the sacks, but we were just unable to get anything going on offense. And it's concerning because, granted, we were missing our top 2 receivers and our top offensive linemen, but when you score 16 against the Broncos and 14, and all of that was in garbage time, then you go have a 43-point outburst against the Falcons, yet you only scored 9 in this game. And granted, the Chiefs offense, the Chiefs defense has looked exceptional these last 3 games. They've only allowed 30 points in 3 games. One of those games was to the Packers when Aaron Rodgers didn't play, but they still only gave up 7. They blew out the Raiders and only gave up 14 last week, and then they gave up 9 to us. So that's 30 in the last 3 weeks. So this defense is looking hellacious. Steve Spagnuolo's got that group ready to go, and Chris Jones is balling out. He is a monster. But it is concerning for the Cowboys, and it's when you have 2 poor showings and a dominant showing in 3 games, that's going to raise questions as to, how effective are you and what true Cowboys team is going to show up on Thanksgiving? Because our next game, of course, we host Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders on Thanksgiving. What Cowboys team is going to show up? Because traditionally or recently, the Cowboys that show up get embarrassed or lose on Thanksgiving. And this team is built different. This team, I see aggression. I see camaraderie and chemistry and a never give up attitude from this team. So I'm hoping that we don't trend in that direction now and have another slip up on Thanksgiving, because that seems to be the norm and we're almost accustomed to it. Stuff in our face full of turkey, drinking some beer, and watching our Cowboys lose, and then we'll just move on. I hope that doesn't continue. This team is built differently, and I think they can handle the Raiders. It's just, you can easily see the concerns that could be popping up with what Cowboys team is this, because the last 3 weeks we saw a crappy Cowboys effort against the Broncos, then we saw a dominant effort against the Falcons, and then we see a Cowboys offense that just was completely shut out by the Chiefs today. So it'll just be interesting to see. Of course, we're going to be without Amari Cooper again on Thursday because of the quick turnaround. He still won't be able to test out of the COVID protocol by Thursday, and we'll have to wait and see on CeeDee Lamb's status, whether he'll be good to go on Thursday. It's just going to be interesting. And the Eagles made it a little more interesting too. Their win today, we're 2.5 games ahead of the Eagles now. We were 3.5. We lost. The Eagles won. So it's 2.5 games. The Eagles definitely looking better now. They're looking a lot better than the team we creamed, about a month or 2 ago. Jalen Hurts has got that team ready to rumble. So Nick Sirianni is pushing his hat a little further in as far as coach of the year. But I'm looking for a much better effort from the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. A very winnable game against the Raiders. We'll see how many of our guys we can get back. And this was a true test. The Chiefs defense has been playing at an elite level, and the Raiders defense and the Raiders offense is not near this quality of opposition. So I still like the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. We'll just have to wait and see because we're going to have quite a few injuries to report on later in the week. It's going to be interesting. And I still like the Cowboys in the NFC or in the NFC East, excuse me. And in the NFC, you did have some stumbles. You had the Packers lose at Minnesota. We beat the Vikings in Minnesota with Cooper Rush at quarterback. The Cardinals have struggled. The Rams have struggled at times. Tampa Bay lost to New Orleans a few weeks ago. So the NFC is wide open here. So we shouldn't really sound the alarm yet. You know, at 7-3, if you had told me at the beginning of the season we'd be 7-3, 10 games in, yeah, I'd take that every day and twice on Sunday. So we're in good shape. And I'll be back later in the week to preview our Thanksgiving game against the Raiders. But this is Louis Longoria signing off for Garage Game Day Sports. You could find me once again at Game Day Garage on Twitter. Hit that like, comment, or subscribe button if you would, please. We would greatly appreciate it here on YouTube, or you can also like our page on Facebook and listen to us on your daily commute on Spotify or on Anchor.fm. So I will see you guys later in the week. You all have a great week. I will see you guys later.